thank you all for coming. My name is Daniel Olarte. I support the community development team at the Celo Foundation. And I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves. But before that, I just wanted to kind of like state an intention. I think we will have a few conversations today about what community means, kind of like a who we are type of conversation during the day, not just with this one, hopefully. And I just want your help in kind of like creating a primer for that. Kind of like would love to have a conversation about, is there a Celo community? What is it? What are those values that support that community? And start from there, kind of like with that, start a conversation that hopefully goes through the day, supported by all the different panels we have. That's kind of like my invitation. So with that, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself and your role, and perhaps just trying to get into defining community, the community you serve. Yeah.
All right. Go. I'll kick it off. My name is Alison. I'm the community lead at Climate Collective. The community that I serve. Part of our objective is to bring together the crypto and the climate communities to build a new coalition there.
Hi everyone, my name is Isabella Brito. I represent Talent Protocol, and at Talent Protocol, the main idea, the main purpose for us is like to enable high potential talents to be discovered, to be seen, and like take the next level on their careers.
Cool. Hi, my name is Eric Nakagawa. I work with Daniel at Celo Foundation, and I lead the DevRel team. The community we serve, I feel, is a mixture of people participating in Celo, but also people contributing to Celo, either through code or voting and things like that. I'm happy to talk about this today.
Yeah, thank you. So one of the things that I was thinking for this panel is that I think we are at a very interesting moment in the Celo ecosystem where that role of building a community does not depend on a founding team. I don't think it depends anymore on the Celo Foundation or C-Labs. I think now that a bunch of us play that role. I mean, that's one of the reasons why you are here. You were probably, with the exception of Eric, among the first community lead hires we have in the ecosystem. So I think that what I would like you to talk about, my question is, what type of community are we creating from your unique perspective? If you were to talk about a Celo community, what type of community is that?
We talked about this before, but I think it's one that's very intentional, right? It's one that has an aim and a vision, and part of that is for environmental preservation and restoration, and part of that is also for financial inclusion.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So basically, a talent protocol and the idea that like intersects with the Celo community and the Celo Foundation itself. It's like Celo. It's based on gets everyone's like a unique purpose and unique values, and like to make it collective. And at Talent Protocol, we do believe that like careers are no longer a single like player journey. So it's a multiplayer that like everyone can invest and participate and share collectively to that. So one of the intersections that like totally aligned with Talent Protocol and the Celo Foundation and like Celo mission itself is like to bring the unique perception, the unique perspective from everyone and make it collective.
I like that. Yeah, one of the things from my perspective is seeing you folks create new ideas. And I think a lot of what the foundation tries to do is provide that space, but then we don't know where it goes, right? Like we can provide the seed, and I think the seed is some of those values, right? Prosperity for all is one common one. And we also now talk about regenerative finance and how that works, and where we are today and where we'll be in 1 year. I'm just looking at how the world works. It'll keep growing into being different, maybe some specialization, maybe some generalization, but I think a good community is one that it can evolve and change, and it generally starts from a seed, right? You'll see something grow out of that, and we're starting to see things like that here.
And if I could pick it up on what you're saying, Eric, one of the movements that I've seen and why community is becoming so important, like the DAO movement that like just, let's say, that has been like has been here for a while, but it started like blooming last year, is that finally people are understanding there's like technology and there is people, and when it comes like to the Web3 space, one of the perceptions that I have is like the technology is like growing like much faster than people's mentality, than like the people's mindset. And when we want, of course, like to bring prosperity for everyone and to bring like this collectiveness, and we need to have everyone aligned. But like first, like we have to take a step back and understand and get to people like to understand like what's blockchain, what's like the technology is about. So that's where the community like comes in, because you know, if we have like this amazing technology, this amazing application or anything, but we don't have like people to use it, people like to understand what it means. So what's the point then?
And that's the magic of Web3, right? You can have that local specificity and context-specific experience through DAOs or through local protocols or engagement, but it's globally applicable. I think that's the beauty of it. And that allows you to define what is prosperity to you.
Yeah. Isabella, you talked about the idea of unique purpose, and you talked about the idea of a seed. And I wanted to, for a second, go back to those initial values. I believe they are still on the website, where we talk about the two core values of Celo, unique purpose and connectedness. And you talked about kind of like a sense of kind of like a broad goal that tied us together. Back in, I guess, at the beginning, you described unique purpose very well, right? A focus on personal growth, right? And then connectedness, this idea that we are connected beings, network beings, by the way, something that Andy created or spoke first, I guess. And I just wanted to ask you, how do those values, do they resonate still with you and in the communities you're building? And if so, how do they show up in the work you do?
I think with climate, it's a perfect frame for that, because that is something that we experience so individually in different communities around the world, in Bogota, in Washington, D.C., in Calcutta. You know, your experience with the climate and with your surrounding environment is going to be very unique. You're going to have a unique purpose and a unique way of addressing that, and a unique way of regenerating it and adapting to it. But at the same time, yeah, we are globally connected in our fate and in our challenge to address climate change. So I think that's what makes Web3 a really unique tool for us to come together and to collaborate on that challenge.
There is like, I come from the Web2 world of like community building. And if we could like put, let's say, community like in two different buckets, there are like communities of practices and communities of purpose. And actually the blockchain community unite. I think like besides the blockchain community, only like the CrossFit community can combine like both practice and purpose, because like people are like really keen on that. But what I wanted to say with that is that the blockchain community can unite both purpose and like having like this like global communities as we're building. We understand that like people are tackling different issues, different topics. So actually, like in Talent Protocol, we do have talents that wants like to become the president of Cyprus. We want people that's launching products on education, on climate change. But then we are going towards the same purpose, like to make the world. I wouldn't say like to change the world, because there are actually things that works well in the world that we're living, but there are a lot of things that I can make like some improvement. So, and then based on that and based on the insights that we have, because we know that like usually we are like so, some of us, we do have like the causes, the projects that are like very close to our hearts. So then sometimes we lose the visibility of other things. So yesterday I was just like having like talk about like climate change and so on, because that's actually a kind of topic that I'm still quite uneducated about it. But then having the opportunity to bring this like collectiveness, like to being in a conference like this and having the opportunity like to chat about like different topics. So it's not only that we're like looking for like the like-minded people, but actually I would love to hear people that have different opinions, that are experts in different topics that I'm not educated about. So this actually like can brings up like to the causes that's close to my heart.
Yeah, I like hearing that. There's one of the things I'm hearing actually is you said, you know, there's parts of the world that are good and there's parts that you would like to change. And one of the things I like about Web3 communities is you actually can make that change. If you participate in things like governance, or if you propose things like governance proposals, and you're able to rally the support of the community, you can actually make those changes. And that happens also in the real world, but in a very bizarre way. You can't really tell if they counted your vote, did they? Maybe you can check in some places. But in this case, you can actually see that if you did it, there's the proof. And you know, on the topic of, you know, connectedness, the way the blockchain actually works is nodes or validators are connected to each other, and that community, over, you know, what we've seen over the past week or so is a lot of those people coming together, and, you know, sort of coming together to actively work on and fix things, but also provide feedback, talk to each other, and reinforce the connections that I think they've had before, and are now, I think, in a much stronger position than, you know, even, you know, a month ago. And so the connectedness and the ability to change, the ability to act, and ability to act kind of very quickly if you need to, I think are just a key part of not just the Celo community, but Web3 in general. And then the one sort of leading thing I see out of that is if you have an idea, in this space you can move so much faster, you can get it out there, and you don't really need permission. Now, you probably need to get people bought into the idea to come along with you, right? To sell the idea of helping people chase their dreams and like become a better person, or change the world, or incentivize behavior in such a way that the easy thing is the good thing for the planet with the work you do with the Climate Collective. But we're all able to do that together, independently or together.